Hello everyone, my name is Anusha Devan and I am the student of Dronacharya Group of Institutions and my branch is Electronics and Communication. And for my seminar video, I would like to present myself on the 5G and its architecture. For this, I would like to start by giving the definition of 5G. 5G is the fifth generation mobile network. It is a new global wireless standard after 1G, 2G, 3G and 4G networks. 5G enables a new kind of network that is designed to connect virtually everyone and everything together, include machines, objects and devices. That is, as we know, 5G will not only offer the network, mobile networks, but it will enable us to connect virtually everything like machine, objects, devices to some kind of network virtually. So all the devices will be accessible and communicable very easily to each other. And I would like to go to my second slide, which is features offered by 5G. First, mean to deliver higher multi Gbps peak data speed. As we know, as of now, 5G has the highest speed and 5G is 100 times faster than 4G. So 5G will obviously offer higher multi Gbps peak data speed. Second, ultra low latency. 5G has very low latency, that is the time required for a set of data to travel between 2 points. So the speed of 5G is very high, so that the latency of 5G is very low, very low, and it enables users to send and download huge amount of data in near real time. So 5G will gonna offer us that we can afford to download or send huge amount of movies, files, documents very easily, because its speed will be very high. And third, more reliability. 5G will obviously gonna be more reliable to the user than other networks, because it offers very high speed. The strength of the network will be high because of its architecture, and it will be more reliable. Fourth, massive network capacity. As we know, 5G will connect everything virtually, and also it will have massive network capacity, that it can connect many users, many antennas, many GNBs. So it has very massive network capacity. Increased availability. 5G has not only given the highest speed, but it has increased the availability, so more users can use of the network. Sixth, more uniform user experience to more users. As we know, user will experience more uniformity in this network, because obviously it will give higher speed, higher strength than 4G and other networks. So users will experience more uniformity in the network. Seventh, higher performance and improved efficiency empower new user experiences. And 5G will provide higher performance and also improved efficiency, which will empower new user experiences. 8, connect new industries. As we know, 5G will not only for there to give us data resources, but also to connect new industries, because 5G will not only for the user equipments, but also for other industries, because of its low latency and high speed. Now I would like to go to my third slide, that is evolution of 1G to 5G. As we know, in 1981 there is only 1G, and it will only give voice. We can only talk through the voice. Also, this was based on a GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication. And 1G was a network with only voice call capabilities, and got the name 1G, and 2G was put to use. Now we will move forward to 1991, where 2G has come, where it offered voice, also SMS, some media, and it worked on TDMA and circuit switching, and also CDMA. Now at around 2001 we had 3G. This was a big resolution. This was a big revolution in terms of technological advancement of network and data transmission. 3G had and has speed capabilities up to 2 Mbps. It enabled a smartphone to provide faster communication than 1G and 2G, and can receive large emails and text, provide fast web browsing, video streaming video, and more security amongst others. It was widely based on CDMA 200, that is code division, multiple access, and edge technologies. It was based on edge was so advanced it was to provide enough capabilities to be considered as 3G. Now around 2010 we got 4G. That is, the 4G was based on the internet protocol for data traffic and minimum data rate of 100 Mbps. And it not only it converts data and voice over IP-LT, that is long term evolution, advanced packet switching, and it worked on OFDM, orthogonal frequency division multiplexation, plus CDMA, code division multiplexation access. Now in around 2020 we got 5G. It has superior voice quality and very high speed data transferred, and it is based on LTE Advanced, and also it is LS CDMA, and it has highest speed till now, and its speed is 100 times faster than 4G. Now I would like to go to my next slide. That is, I would like to discuss architecture of 5G. We know 5G utilizes a more intelligent architecture with radio access networks, RANs, no longer constrained by base state proximity or complex infrastructure. 5G leads the way towards disaggregated, flexible, and virtual RAN with new interface creating additional data access points. As we know, now 5G's architecture is more intelligent because it has radio access network, and it is not constant to base station. That is, it uses more virtual network over physical network. 5G architecture 3GPP. The third generation partnership project covers telecommunication technology including RAN, core transport networks, and service capabilities. Modularity, reusability, and self-containment of network function are additional design consideration of a 5G network architecture. As we know, third generation partnership project, they discuss about the 5G architecture including RAN, core transport networks, that how transportation will work, and the service capabilities that will be offered by 5G. And it has some reusability property that we can reuse, and self-containment of network function. Now we will move on to 5G spectrum and frequency. That is how 5G works and which frequency it uses. We know multiple frequency ranges are now being dedicated to 5G new radio. The portion of the radio spectrum with frequency between 30 and 300 GHz is known as the millimeter wave that are used in the frequency of 5G spectrum. And also they are known as millimeter waves because when we convert these frequencies into its wave length, it comes in millimeter. And also a specialty is there, that is till now underutilized ultra high frequency that is not utilized between 300 megahertz and 3 gigahertz are also being repurposed for 5G. That is, 5Gs are using highest ultra high frequency, that is from 300 megahertz and 3 gigahertz for 5G. The millimeter wave frequency are ideal for densely populated areas but ineffective for long distance communication. And the millimeter wave frequencies between 30 gigahertz and 300 gigahertz are ideal for densely populated areas like cities, like metropolitan areas, but ineffective for long network distance communication. Now, I would like to move on to my next slide, that is MEC, multiple access edge computing. As we know, multiple access edge computing is an important element of 5G architecture. MEC is an evolution in cloud computing that brings the application from centralized data center to the network edge, and therefore closer to the end users and their devices. So by multiple access edge computing, we mean that now the data will not only stored in the centralized data center, but it has moved to the network edge, that is more closer to the end users and user equipments, so that it can be more easily accessible. Second point, this essentially creates a shortcut in content delivery between the user and the host and the long network path that once separated them. So by this, what happens that the host server will give the data to the user more easily, and the delivery part, the content delivery part, will be the shortest now. So speed will be high and latency will be low. Third is, characteristics of the MEC include the low latency, that is the latency will be low because the network because the data center has moved to the network edge, and the content delivery between host and source has now short distance. And high bandwidth, and also it offers high bandwidth and real time access to RAN information. Then it will be real time accessible to RAN information. That distinguishes 5G architecture from its predecessors, that is 1G, 2G, 3G and 4G. Now 5G will be different from them because it will be real time access to RAN information. Now, addition to the latency and bandwidth benefits of the MEC architecture, the distribution of computing power will better enable the high volume of connected devices inherent to 5G deployment and the rise of the Internet of Things. As we have earlier discussed, that MEC will provide addition to the low latency and bandwidth, higher bandwidth, it provide more resources so that the user equipment can connect to the network more easily, and all the things around us will connect to some kind of network virtually. So it will be a very boom of IoTs in near future. Now I would like to move on my next topic, that is NFV and 5G. We know 5G has included NFV, and without NFV 5G will not work like 5G. So network function virtualization decouples software from hardware by replacing various network functions such as firewalls, load balancers and routers with virtualized instances running as a software. As we know, network function virtualization is very important because now instead of hardware, this softwares are running that is virtually over physical network. So it will provide higher speed and less requirement of all the hardwares. Now 5G RAN architecture. The O-RAN Alliance objective is to allow multi-vendor deployment with off-the-shelf hardware for the purpose of easier and faster interoperability. The O-RAN Alliance objective is to allow multi-vendor deployment with off-the-shelf hardware for the purpose of easier and faster interoperability. Now I would like to discuss about two major things which makes 5G very high good quality and give highest speed till now. First is network slicing. Now the network slicing, the key ingredient enabling the full potential of 5G architecture to be realized is network slicing. We know the technology adds the extra dimension to the NFV domain by allowing multiple logical networks to simultaneously run on the top of a shared infrastructure. As we know, 5G make use of NFV very well, that is doing virtualization of the networks. This technology give extra dimension by allowing multiple logical networks. Logical networks are basically the virtual networks, so it will be simultaneously run on the top of a shared physical network infrastructure, so the speed will be very, very high. Now I would like to go to the beamforming. Another breakthrough technology integral to the success of 5G is beamforming. Beamforming is a very crucial point of 5G. Through the use of multiple input, multiple output MIMO arrays featuring dozens of small antennas combined in a single formation, signal processing algorithms can be used to determine the most effective transmission path to each user, while individual packets can be sent in a multiple direction, then choreographed to reach the end user in a predetermined sequence. Now, we know beamforming is very important for 5G because it is the crucial part. Now, there is no need of conventional base station, that is signal transmitted in multiple direction without regard to the position of targeted users or devices. Therefore, the uses of multiple input, multiple output, that is MIMO arrays featuring dozen of small antennas combined in a single formation. With 5G data transmission occupying the millimeter wave, free space propagation loss proportional to the small antenna size and diffraction loss inherent to higher frequency and lack of wall penetration are significantly greater. On the other hand, the small antenna's size also enables much larger array to occupy the same physical space. With each other of these small antennas potentially resigning beam direction several times per millisecond, massive beam forming to support the challenge of 5G bandwidth becomes more feasible with a large antenna density in the same physical space. Narrower beams can be achieved with massive MIMO, thereby providing a means to achieve high throughput with more effective user tracking. So as we know, beam forming it supports the highest bandwidth and it will give more speed to the 5G. Now I would like to move on to my next slide, that is 5G core architecture. Now I would like to discuss the 5G core architecture. 5G core as defined by 3GPP utilizes cloud aligned services based architecture SBA that spans across all 5G function and interaction, including authentication, security, session management and aggregation of traffic from end users. So here are the diagram of architecture, core architecture. It has AMF, accessible management function, SMF and user plane function, GNB and other main parts. Now for this I would like to discuss first AMF. AMF is access and mobility management, which receives all connection session related information from the user equipment, but is responsible only for handling connection and mobility management tasks. All messages related to session management and forwarded over the N1N reference interface to the session management function SMF. As the mobility comprises any MMF instance globally, a unique AMF identifier is employed. The UE specifies this in the first non-access stratum NS message. A message is sent, which is routed by the required AMF by the radio access network, applicable to both 3GPP access and non-3GPP access. Now, among the responsibility of mobility management, the AMF is in charge for managing handover between G nodes GNB within the next generation radio network NGRN, formerly referred to as an X2 handover. In 5G, It is termed an exon handover. This represents our updated reference interference application protocol employed between GNB base station, which is identified with the technical specifications. Now I would like to discuss about SMF, that is session management function. The 5G session management function is a fundamental element of the 5G service based architecture SBA. The SMF is primarily responsible for interacting with the decoupled data, creating, updating and removing protocol data unit session and managing session contact with the user plane function. When the data flowing from a UV, that is user equipment, via source GNB to the data plane of the 5G core UPF, radio resource control signaling is employed. RRC is employed so that it can take measure and report on signal quality. When the source node detects that the handover is required, it connects with the target GNB to commence the switching process. Once the tunnels have been moved across to target GNB, the UV performs a handover and connects to the same target node. A path switch request is made from the target GNB to the AMF, and once acknowledged, data can flow from the UV through the target node and to the pre-described UPF. That is RRC, radio resource control signaling, is there to detect the quality of the network and measure and report to the signal quality. Now I would like to move on and see the difference between 4G and 5G new radio end-to-end network architecture. As we have seen, there is MEC, which is new in 5G, which was not there in 4G. Now I would like to move on my next point, that is security in 5G. That is how security works. 5G security features detailed by the 3GPP standard are unified authentication to decouple authentication from access points, extensible authentication protocol to accommodate secure transaction, flexible security policy to address more use cases, and subscriber permanent identifier to ensure privacy on the network. Now, how it is different from 4Gs. Now I would like to discuss that how it is different from 4G. Changes at the code level are among the myriad of architecture changes that accompany the shift from 4G to 5G. We have seen earlier that 5G uses MEC, so it is different at the code level itself, including the immigration of millimeter wave, that is it uses the millimeter waves. Also 5G also uses ultra high frequency, which has not been used earlier, and massive MIMO, that is multiple input multiple output has been using in 5G, which was not earlier there in 4G. And network slicing is the very important because it gives virtual network over a physical network, which gives more accessible to the users and more speed. And we can make less use of hardware and connect virtually, that is connection there is virtually networks over the physical network, and essentially very other discrete elements of the diverse 5G ecosystem. So we can say that 5G is more different than 4G from the code level itself. Now I would like to end my PPT here. Thank you.